Hello, everyone. Um, Great to catch up with you again today in the episode 11 of FamilyWorth. Today is a little bit strange because I'm having this live stream from a place that wasn't planned, but because of the importance of FamilyWorth to me and to my team, we decided anyhow we're going to keep going with these live streams. We have an interesting topic today. Like most topic that we bring on this platform, it is about keeping the balance. How timely this topic is, especially for men, because we're still on our Movember series. Movember, for those that don't know, it's a time of the year, usually during the month of November, where all around the world, the month is dedicated to highlighting the challenges of men's health. And one of the key ones that it's always regular is the whole issue of mental health, the issue of suicide. And I've been flagging these statistics for a few times now. I want to keep bringing um, sort of the awareness to some of these issues. These stats do not look good. I know that it highlights the challenges, particularly with men, but it's not just about men alone. Everyone that has a man or a male they care for should also be interested. Again, the stats do not look good, but one of the peculiar aspects of these stats, if I may draw your attention, is the fact that 80% of suicide in men are related to relationship issues. And the question is why? Why are relationship issues so deep, especially with men? Why? And I think that particular question, I'll leave it as a rhetorical question, but it's quite remarkable that 80% of these sort of terrible situation with suicide is related to relationship. And that is why we are bringing the topic today of how do we keep the balance? Because I think it's very important. What do we do about that statistics? And I want to just bring this whole topic into three particular areas of our relationship. I know we are focusing on men because of Movember. As we know, Movember is like I already explained, but it's not just about Movember. It's about men's health. Movember's theme is changing the face of men's health. And there are three areas I want to try and just share some thoughts. Whenever I do this live stream, I don't claim to be an expert. I don't boast that I know it all. I really just share and lead conversations. And when we talk about keeping the balance and the whole issue of relationship, I want to highlight three key areas. Three. Talking about relationship and keeping the balance and coming from the outside to the inside. The first one is about our work relationships. Men, as we know, sometimes our worth, rightly or wrongly, are tied to work. So when relationship with work are broken, when people lose their jobs, especially men, when redundancies are given, many times it cuts to the hearts of men. And unfortunately, some men go down with that. So why, again, another why, and I'm not going to spend time today just answering this question, but highlighting it. Work relationships. And when those ties are cut, depending on how they are cut as well, it cuts deep. It brings men down. Unfortunately, don't ask me why too much. I don't have the full answers. Maybe psychologists can help. But when men lose jobs, when men are cut off from their livelihood in terms of means of making money, when men begin to beg, when men begin to feel lesser than men, if you get what I mean, it causes a lot of issues. And that is one area I just wanted to highlight. Remember, I said we're coming from the outside to the inside because work, you will think work relationship is work. It shouldn't cut so deep, but it does. The other one coming closer that sometimes cuts very deep is friendship. When friends cut ties, when relationships with good friends are broken, when trust are betrayed, many times it cuts very deep. Remember, we're talking about keeping the balance. So in these kind of situations, how do you keep the balance? As a man, how do you keep the balance when you lose your job? How do you keep the balance when you lose a friend, a relationship, very good relationship with a friend? How do you keep the balance? The third type of relationship I want to just highlight today, coming closer home, is family. When relationships in families are broken, and sometimes some of these relationships I'm highlighting, it's not, let's not be quick, be fast to blame people. Like the work relationship we mentioned earlier on, the number one. Sometimes, like COVID situation, or when economy is down, employers try to keep afloat. And unfortunately, rightly or wrongly, they cut loose a few people. So sometimes you can't even blame employers. What about friendship? Sometimes some friends have to move on. And unfortunately, it affects relationship. And finally, family. I cannot begin to explain how deep it gets when family relationships are broken, when ties with dear ones are cut. And again, I'm not just talking about just husband and wives. What about child and parent? I just mentioned just now that I'm talking to you from somewhere that is not planned. I'm speaking from hospital because a very dear person, close relative to me, has been in hospital, and I couldn't explain how or describe how that can also disturb your balance as a man and as a woman, really. Even though the focus today is men because of Movember. So what happens when a relative is unwell? And some of the situation could be very difficult. What if it's a major surgery? And I just pray that nobody dies. But any of these situations distort the balance. And some of them could have led to this kind of statistics. And I'm not trying to explain that every time the illustration or examples I gave with work, with friendship, and with family are the causes of this situation. No, that's not what I'm saying. But sometimes they could lead to them either directly or indirectly. And that is why the focus today is really how do you keep the balance under this condition? How do you keep the balance when you lose a job and you are jobless? Sometimes without any immediate hope of finding another job. How do you keep the balance when a friend that is dear to you, rightly or wrongly, either the person's fault or your fault, it doesn't matter, and that relationship is broken? How do you keep the balance? And how do you keep the balance? This one cuts deep. When family ties are broken, in whatever form, whether it's separation or it is ill health or whatever. That's why it's not a blame game here. This program is not meant to start pointing any finger. The question is keeping our balance in the face of adversity, keeping our balance in the face of situations that sometimes distort the equilibrium. And I'm focusing on men here because many times men do not know how to process and how to adjust and keep the balance. And unfortunately, it ends up in situations that are not planned. So today, I just want to highlight it. Again, this short live stream is not meant to bring all the solutions in the world. I don't have them fully. But I'm just trying to highlight to say, at the end of the day, the key message for today's live stream is there is hope. I want to begin to just speak to men like myself. Whenever I do this live stream, I also speak to myself. I tap into the live stream as part of the preparations to also have hope, to find solutions, to share with mates. Of course, the right mates, because some mates can actually lead you in the wrong direction. But we must encourage each other. There is hope with work situations. When one road closes, like the parable that is wise, another one will open. How long, how you lead to that point, of course, you have a part to play as an individual. But hey, let's not allow it to take us down. You shouldn't go down with your job. I know it's easier said than done sometimes. I have been there. But men, don't go down with your job. Find a way to tap deep. Find a way to encourage yourself. Find a way to strike valuable relationship where you will be encouraged. Find a way to build flexibility, to build contingencies. It may take time. This is why proactive action is very important. You don't have to get in the midst of losing your job before you start having options. So find a way to build contingency as a man, even as a woman, with regards to job and employment and businesses. With friendship, I don't even need to spend too much time on that. Again, recall I said this is not trying to attribute blame. Who caused it for that relationship to be broken? But today, because it focuses on men, hey, mate, just find a way to pick yourself up, build new relationships. And with family, this is hard. Sometimes you cannot build new family easily. You can't, even though yes, it may come to that. But family is family for life. And that is why that one is really, really difficult to navigate and keep your balance. But hey, we must give it a shot. Life is too short, and life is too precious, and life is too valuable. You have a role to play, you have a purpose to fulfill. So you cannot afford to go down with any of these three situations. Even though the last one, the third one, is very challenging. And that is why it cuts deep. Unfortunately, that is why many men go down when family relationships are broken. But today, I just want to put it out there. There is hope. There is always a solution. There is always hope. It may deserve or demand you to dig deep. And this is why I always show this illustration. I'm not trying to preach here, but I'm just trying to, when we talk about balance, consider this picture or this symbolic representation, even though it does mean a lot to someone like me of faith, but I'm not here to even talk about religion today, even though it's critical, it's important. But imagine this kind of positioning compared to this. So build your base. Whatever spirit may mean to some people, it means a lot to me and FamilyWorth in terms of the Christian worldview. But it could mean other things to different people. But build your base, build from the inside out, develop your inner life, develop that situation where even without a work or a job, a friend, or as hard as it sounds, even without a family, you can survive. I know that is far is even as I'm saying it, it's difficult to rationalize that without a family you can't survive. And I know that this will trigger a lot of question marks. Can you survive without your family? Or let me put it the other way around. Must you cut your dreams, your life, your purpose, your future because of broken relationships? Hey, I'm not trying to put in here that it's simple. And I'm not trying to say that we should go on and start putting aside families. No, God has designed family that way, that it is foundational. It is your stability to a great extent. It is your base. And that is why it hurts deep when family relationships are broken. But the other side of the message today is that must you be permanently broken because family is broken? Must the balance just remain permanently distorted because I'm using family because that is like the extreme. I don't even want to go to friendship or work. It's almost a case of illustrating it like this. If you can survive family relationship breakdown, what is friendship or work? Again, it sounds simplistic, but I hope you get my message. That even with family relationship breakdown, we need to begin to move to a situation where, number one, firstly, explore all avenues to reconcile. It is worth it. It is super worth it if you can reconcile family relationships because it is foundational. I don't need to go too far. We all know it now that statistics are there that half of marriages don't survive. And like I said earlier, it's not just about marriages. What about relationship with a son, with a daughter, with a dear child? It is sometimes even as painful. But of course, the marital relationship is covenanted. That is deep. So the main message today, firstly, my people, my audience, is, excuse me, there is hope. There is hope. And since the focus is on Movember, man, I like speaking to men, just firstly because I'm a man. I'm not trying to say other parts of the family are not important. Many times we cannot survive. God has designed it that we need to walk and build in a family. But we must also be ready to survive and thrive and fulfill your purpose for being here. You can't just throw that away. So today was meant to be short because, like I told you, I'm making this broadcast from, I'm not saying this to score any points. I'm making it from the hospital. Thank God the situation is getting better while I'm here. But such a message is equally important and dear to my heart, because sometimes you express something like this with a passion that it deserves when you are in the midst of it. I could tell you that I have a fair bit of experience of how a man could suffer. And again, I'm not saying that men are exonerated. Many times, we men, we need to wake up. Many times, we have a role to play to avoid the situation we find ourselves. I'm not trying to say man has no blame, but the important message here is that man is important. Men in your lives are important. However this turns out to be, whether you part ways or whether, after all, we all have men, we have boys, we have sons, we have fathers, we have uncles. So men here is not quickly about husband and wife. It's about man and the way it's been designed, the importance of man on earth. And of course, a woman is important. Very, very. And it's not a matter of gender war here or trying to put one against each other or the other. It's a Movember month, and I'm just trying to highlight a few points here. So I just want to start tying it together, tying it really. And this is why under FamilyWorth, we did come up with an initiative because particularly we think that migrant and multicultural men have peculiar challenges. And again, we're not trying to point fingers at anyone. We made up our mind to relocate, to start all over again, to leave our comfort zone and start life all over again. So it's not a matter of blaming anybody. But at the same time, we cannot just say, oh, it's too hard, nothing should be done. So I'm very urgent. I am keen to contribute. I don't have to even lead in an effort to make it easier for migrant and multicultural men. So let me not digress and bring it back again to the subject matter, which is finding the balance. And I think without dwelling much on this picture, think about it, reflect on it. Again, it's not meant to start preaching. It's not religion. Whatever that base is, build the base. Whatever spirit means to you, I know what it means to me. And I think with FamilyWorth, we have always maintained that our points of reference, the Christian worldview, we believe it's very important to develop your base, your inner life, that part of you that stands even when no one is standing with you. That part of you that could keep you going when your world comes crumbling down. The spiritual life. Again, it's not meant to trigger a sentiment of being spooky. It's just life. There's something in me that is beyond the body you see in Ephraim. I must care for that. I must reflect on that. I must tap into that word to have a balance. But beyond taking it to this realm, there's just some simple practical aspect we can also exercise. Like men doing life together. Something like this I showed earlier on. Simple, wise steps, because many times as men we internalize it. We do it alone. We put up a face, and I'm not exonerating myself here. You will hear narrative that men don't cry. Hey, I cry sometimes. I want to cry if that will help. I'm not saying that we should be carrying a face around. It's just about keeping the balance, keeping the balance, and how to contribute to at least reducing this situation. Because many times, we don't want a situation like this to keep continuing. I know the whole narrative about suicide is not simplistic, so I'm not going to take the role of psychologist here, but I'm just highlighting a few things. Thank you for everyone that joined me today. Like I said, it's not where I'm doing this from right now. It's not where I would normally do it from. Again, Catherine, thank you so much. Always there. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your ongoing support regularly. I'm hoping that really some of these conversations we can take it further. Obviously, you have a contribution to make. Just the regular support and the consistency with which you contribute and provide input, Catherine, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I think this comment where I am because I'm using my phone. I couldn't read it right now, Catherine, but I'm just flagging it so that my audience and everyone that sees this can see what you've contributed. But thank you once again, Catherine. And I just want to bring this to a close now and try to get back to supporting and the person I'm supporting here today. Like I said, thankfully, it turned out, it's turning out well. We are still in the process, but these are the kind of things that can actually distort your balance as a man. And I want to encourage everyone going through situations. Some of them it's not even easy to talk about. I know that. I've been there. But be encouraged. Know that there is hope. Let's keep doing life together. Connect to initiative like the one I flagged earlier on that you think can support you in the journey, and let's not do it alone. I'm here now, I have people praying for me, people sending messages of support. I just want to appreciate them. Time will fail me to start mentioning names. Thank you so much, everyone. This is what it means, and this is part of keeping the balance, having support of people that can share life with you. Thank you, everyone. I don't want to take too much time today. So I highlighted 3 areas today. There are more areas than just the situation with work, friendship, and family. There are many things that can distort our balance, but please, number one, know that there is hope. Number two, build your base, whatever that base means to you. I know how to do mine. That is why, for me, the narrative of my faith and value system is big. I keep telling people I don't know how to do life any other way and survive without tapping into my faith and belief and that foundation that it gives me. But I also know that the other practical aspect of life is not enough to just uh, go to church or ask people to pray and cast whatever that need to be cast out of you or out of your life. There are also practical aspects like friendship, just chatting with another man, or even chatting with family members, just taking advice, just doing life with people and tapping into support networks. So those are some of the practical aspects that we cannot also value. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with me today. And I hope some people will see this. Once again, thank you, Catherine. I really, really appreciate you. And I'm hoping that some of one or two of these sessions, there's still your suggestions, your input are always very relevant. Thank you so much, Catherine. And I'm looking forward to next 2 weeks, hopefully in a more relaxed context, not live streaming from the hospital. And thank you once again for everyone that is supporting myself and my family through the current situation. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and I look forward to catching up with everyone again soon. Thank you very much for your support. See you next time. Bye bye.